Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode.
Welcome back.
We are officially back from UCSF and Amanda's first MRI, which we got the results and we shared in an earlier video, but they turned out really great as can be expected. The doctor said she's, quote, kicking butt at treatment. Amanda, how are you feeling about everything?
I would say I am feeling kind of, oddly enough, like a little more conflicted right now. If I'm really being honest, when the MRI was happening, I was really hopeful going into it. I would say I was very hopeful and optimistic. And then once the MRI machine kind of started, I got oh wow, this is really happening, and this is going to be my foreseeable future, getting an MRI every other month. And for some reason, if you're ever in an MRI machine, you don't really know how long it's been. And I was starting to get nervous that the MRI was taking a long time. And so when we got out of the MRI machine, or out of the appointment, I kind of had this little meltdown. Meltdown in the sense of, oh no, now I'm really faced with it. We really are, this is happening, and we are going to find the results out soon. And when we got to UCSF, the second campus, I was kind of spiraling. I don't know if you noticed.
Yes, I do notice.
And then,
I'm fairly observant.
So when our neuro-oncologist came in and she's just chatting away, I was like, okay, let's just get, let's start this. I want to know what's going on. And because she didn't lead in with it, I was just really nervous. And obviously she thinks I'm doing really well. And then we got back to the apartment, and everything kind of emotionally was coming down, was this is a really good thing, and I want to work even harder to keep these up.
How have you been doing with implementing that since you made that proclamation?
I'm gonna start today.
Oh, really? Because you're killing this morning so far, too. You can't come on here and tell people what you're gonna do and then be full of shit and not do it.
So I'm starting today.
Oh, you are.
Today.
Oh, really?
Today is the day.
What time today are you gonna start?
Probably in 5 minutes.
Oh, you are really? What? Will you page me when that happens?
Absolutely. No, just being I feel like I have this, essentially not clean bill of health, but this moment where things are looking really good, and I still want to continue to improve. Improve? Stop it. Oh God. And then it's really it's weird, because you would think great news, woo,
Yeah.
glad we're done with that. But then there really is that part of me that's really wants to even try more and research more and keep definitely not being complacent and not thinking yeah, this was a win, but I'm gonna need 500 wins over and over and over and over, just because of the nature of this disease, and it's aggressive and it's fast moving. And so I don't know, it was interesting to me that I wasn't oh, I'm glad that's over with. It was more kind of I became even more wanting to research, wanting to learn things, wanting to do things. Yeah, so there's that.
We'll tell you why we're laughing here in just a second, but I'll have to say there's just such a huge relief when it does, because you realize going into that so much of your foreseeable future is in large part going to be influenced on a couple words somebody says.
Yeah.
And when I say that, it's just what, from a medical perspective, they're observing. I was a little, obviously there's so much relief and stuff, but honestly I was a little bummed that we didn't allow for there to be some time to celebrate the win. I feel like you went so quickly from relief to then starting to go, well, what about this? What should I do this? And almost, we were talking about this a little bit last night, not giving yourself the grace of just acknowledging that you are doing really well, as well as can be expected, even exceeding expectations in many ways, and just allowing that to be a celebration, allowing us to have a moment. I really selfishly wanted to have those moments with you. I really wanted to jump up and down, high five, hug, all those things, and it was almost like you were so quick to move into, well, maybe this isn't, or maybe I need to think about this, or maybe I need to think about that.
Yeah.
Now here's why we're laughing. So, since Amanda's, here's why I think I'm laughing.
I don't know, we might be thinking.
Yeah, so I think that should be. I don't want to speak for you, so let's. I'll do why I'm laughing, and then you do why you're laughing.
Okay.
Why I'm laughing is because what she said was really true. She even said, I want to do more. I want to do more of this, and we had this conversation about, maybe one of the things that you could do as just an evaluative piece from this is make a list of writing down what do you want to do more of and what do you want to do less of, the things you need to trim away. Now, why I'm laughing is because since Amanda's diagnosis, I've been encouraging her to be proactive in certain daily things, among which would be just making a schedule for herself, because her brain, it's hard for her to hold thought of what she wanted to do, and she's easily distracted. And as much as we could blame it on the brain surgery, I think she was very much that person beforehand, because we've had conversations, or we might call them spirited discussions, or maybe some intense debates. And I don't think my best guidance or advice was often well received at that time.
Right.
And true to form, that still has not been the case. So almost daily, I will alternate between suggesting, asking, even pleading with her to write stuff down, make a schedule for her so she can fit stuff in, identify things that she could work on, that she wants to work on. So I'm laughing because here she is after this momentous victory. Really, it is a huge win. And she is resolute in the moment of, I want to do more, I need to do more of this, I want to get more in this. And then since that time, she has yet to implement one freaking thing. And instead, when I say, hey, Amanda, you remember about the whole more thing?
The what?
Yeah, I say, hey, Amanda, you remember about the whole doing more thing?
Oh, yes. Well.
So where you go your side now?
So I think, like, why I'm laughing? Is that what we're talking about?
Whatever. Or if you just want to respond to what I said.
You're wrong. So there's that. Just kidding.
That sounds right.
No, I will say, it was a very like high emotional state going into San Francisco. The one huge beauty of it was I actually got to spend time with one of my very close like childhood friends and got to meet her children, and they were absolutely lovely people, and I couldn't have honestly asked for better kind people to be with us during this time. And then we go from this time together, and then we have to almost like really jump ship and go back to Santa Barbara to do a Hospice of Santa Barbara event. And then we hang out with some of our absolute closest friends. And so I'm like kind of recovering from that. I feel like I'm like coming off of a hangover, even though I haven't drank since long before I even got diagnosed. But it's so my brain, I really do feel the effects of stress, even though it's good stress, fun events, fun like hanging out with people. But I do realize that I do need a little bit more downtime in the sense of recovering.
Yeah, absolutely. do you think it would be beneficial for you to create some structure around downtime and then optimizing your day so that
I'm going to think about that today.
So that you're able to.
I'm going to think about
make
that.
Make sure you're making time for downtime, socializing, researching, and all the other stuff you want to do.
Yeah, I probably should do that.
Because I would love it. Because otherwise, 2 hours of my day every day goes out the hole into the shitter, trying to get you to make a commitment and a decision to do something.
Maybe.
Oh,
maybe.
Amanda, do you have anything else to share?
I think it's really powerful to kind of go all in on yourself and realize you can be doing more. And that more, I don't know what that looks like for you, but just not being complacent with, we do what the industry tells us, okay, do standard chemo, radiation, this, and then just wait until your doctor tells you how you're doing. And instead, it's like, be very hopeful, be very intentional, and never stop learning about it. Never stop trying to learn from others who have paved the road essentially for you. And very much thankful for that, but also one thing that I really learned about this is my forever, in the sense of I'm always going to need to do an MRI. I'm always going to need to do blood work, and I'm going to have to see these people for my forever.
Yeah, you are always going to have to have maintenance checks on how well you're doing with going all in on yourself.
Yeah. So I just, there's that kind of part of me that this is the new normal. And while sometimes I'm like, oh, it's hard to get up and it's hard to do the blood work today because I am so tired, and I am, but this is my reality, and this is going to be my reality for a long foreseeable future. And it's just, your life can change overnight, and then but you have to rise to the challenge of it too.
You don't have to. That's the thing.
Well,
you have a choice.
Yeah.
And we all have this blueprint of expectation of how life is supposed to be, and usually that's just predicated on how life was, and it's assumptive that tomorrow is going to be more of the same.
Yeah. And
then when you get rocked, like you have in a major way, life changes massively, and it's not optimal or ideal or any of those types of things, but my goodness, man, compared to the alternative, and that's not me trying to. I can never imagine what it's like to be. I can imagine, but I can never know what it's like to be in your circumstances.
0 out of 10 recommend.
But I'm saying that in the sense of and I'll just share this really quick because I don't want to run too long. When we were driving to this event on Sunday, we witnessed a really bad rollover crash, first on scene on the freeway. I wrote about it earlier, so I won't go into the whole thing. Thankfully, all 3 people were okay, but it happened as Amanda and I were talking about how important it is to treasure moments, because we can be frustrated that she has to go to get MRIs every 2 months, and life could change just like that. And as we're having that conversation, a car going the opposite direction flips over, rolls a bunch of times, first on scene. And
I called 911, which was probably not helpful because I couldn't. Oh God!
Amanda called 911 when I ran across the freeway, seeing if these people were okay. And it was just such a reminder that there's that. So there's all the emotion that can come with the confirmation of, gosh, this is going to be my life for the foreseeable future. And that's one reality. And then there's also the reality of, man, a couple seconds here or there difference, and that could have been us. And we might not even be here to share this, and we might not even be here to be frustrated or overwhelmed or consumed about the reality that's in front of us. It's perspective is such a powerful thing. And when I was talking with one of the passengers, he's telling me how unlucky he is because he had been in an accident maybe 4 months before that. And I'm looking at him, I'm looking at his friends who are, all things considered, they're alive and doing okay. And I'm looking at this car behind them that is destroyed, and the debris that is strewn over 50 plus yards of freeway space. And for me, I'm looking and thinking, man, from my perspective, you are the luckiest people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, that's not to detract from the emotion of it all, because I certainly have my moments too. It's just also, I think, taking context that there's the emotion, and then it's what perspectives we're gonna have. And I think overall, you've done an incredible job with that too. And yeah, there's always room for improvement. But no, you're just, I mean, I think you're incredible in how you take this on, and you really are. You continue to shine, and I think as you continue to lean in, you'll only shine brighter.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob.
All right, everybody, that's all for today. I know this one ran a little bit long. I hope you laughed with us. Hopefully you took something away from this positive. Thank you so much, as always, for being on the journey. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will be back to share more in the near future. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye. How have you been doing with implementing that?